Yo! Today is November 15, 2022. Welcome to Simply Bitcoin Live. We're your number one source for this peaceful Bitcoin revolution. We cover breaking news, culture, memetic warfare. We will be your guide through the separation of money and state. Today's going to be a very special show. Michael Saylor doubles down once again. Looks like he wants to potentially sell $500 million worth of stock to stack more Bitcoin. And believe it or not, Adam Back, who was originally cited in the Bitcoin white paper that some speculate is potentially Satoshi. I don't know. He thinks it's a good idea as well. Why wouldn't it be a good idea? It's always a good idea to buy more Bitcoin. And another thing, very, very interesting as well, is, look, perhaps this whole FTX thing has a silver lining, right? Because it has woken up people to the idea of not your keys, not your Bitcoin. But before we start the show, I want to introduce my legendary co-host, the always optimistic Optimus Fields. How you doing, bro?
Well, good morning, Nico. Good morning, everyone. Good to be here. My first thought instantly is I need some of these Michael Saylor deals. I need to stack some more sats right now as well. I like amazing. Obviously, as Bitcoiners, we see a good price and we need more Bitcoin. So I'm excited to get into this news. And then on today's daily culture, guys, we're seeing it's almost exactly what Nico said. We're seeing more people wake up to the Bitcoin ethos, but we still have some shitcoiners out there, trying to dunk on Bitcoiners. And we're going to reiterate some of the memes that we talk about a lot. And today's is going to be the legendary stack sats and stay humble. We'll cover some threads. We'll cover why people don't want you to own Bitcoin and why you need to stay humble so you don't get wrecked like this again.
Stay humble, stack sats. That's all you got to do. It's so simple. Some people make it complicated, but hopefully more and more people wake up to that. Anyways, guys, let's start the show. Let's do it. I'm pumped. Let's do it.
The Bitcoin numbers.
Brought to you by NODL. At this point, you should be running your own Bitcoin node. If you don't use your own Bitcoin node, you're trusting someone else's. Run your own version of Bitcoin Core, the Lightning Network, Whirlpool, and Dojo, all from the comfort of your own home. And if you're a digital nomad, you have absolutely no excuse because now you can run a NODL through a virtual private server. Visit nodl.eu today. All right, at the time of recording, the Bitcoin price is 16,998. It was just at 17. It went down because they knew Simply Bitcoin was going live, and that was going to give you guys an opportunity to stack some cheap sats under 20K. Sats per dollar, we're at 5,883. Block height, we're at 763,308. Reachable Bitcoin nodes, we're at 15,169. Blocks to the halving, 76,692. Halving estimate, April 22nd, 2024. Total Lightning Network capacity, 5,134. Capacity value, $87 million US. Oh, that sucks, man. It was over 100 million for so long. Okay, well, it's going to get there. It's going to get there once again. We need that Lightning Network value capacity value, better said. We need that number to keep going up. Realized monetary inflation, we're at 1.77%. Bitcoin continues to take fiat currencies to absolute school, and it's going to get worse. That number is going to continue getting lower and lower and lower and lower. Market capitalization, $326 billion. In the grand scheme of things, Bitcoin is still a tiny little baby. Anyways, I have a video for you guys. It was reposted by Neil Jacobs. Shout out to him. And it's Michael Saylor's response, whether Sam Bankman-Fried, the CEO of FTX, belongs in jail. This was on Yahoo News. Let's check out the clip. It's about 1 minute and 30 seconds. Let's check it out, Opti, and then we'll riff on it.
He was using counterfeit money and stolen money to lobby against all the virtues in the industry, against proof of work, against Bitcoin. He was working to corrupt regulations, corrupt the political process, right? When you have actors that use counterfeit stolen money in order to undermine the industry, it's not good for anybody. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that people need to decipher this. FTX, generated an FTT token. If you trade your own token on your own exchange with wash trading, with leverage, you can park the price at any number you want. So you want to make $1 billion, you jack the price by $3 by wash trading with yourself. Then you generate $1 billion of collateral. Then you look for a bank that'll loan you money against the collateral. And of course, nobody in their right mind should be loaning money against an air token that you manipulated yourself. But of course, Sam happened to be the CEO of a bank that made loans. So he applied for a loan from his own bank and he granted it to himself. And then he took real assets like Bitcoin from his honest customers. And then he rehypothecated them, traded them, lost them. And so this is just an egregious ethical lapse, and it can't go on. These exchanges cannot continue to be unregistered, unregulated offshore.
Man, oh man, oh man. I think Michael Saylor said it best, man. He took people's money and he used it to speculate, and he used his own monopoly money as well. But now the party's over. And we have so many countless victims, bro. But all of this could have been avoided. All of this could have been avoided if people started taking personal responsibility over their money. Stop trusting third parties. Only trust yourself. And this all could have been avoided, man. It's a sad, but the silver lining here is that that's exactly what is happening. That's exactly what is happening here. People got burnt so hard that we are actually starting to see people taking self-custody. We're going to get into more of the details about that during the news segment. But dude, I think Saylor was spot on. There was something, and like shout out to one of our listeners, OTC Big B says regulations bad, freedom good, and that is kind of, and that kind of worried me a little bit, Opti, where he's like, look, we need regulated exchanges, so it pushes people over, it stops pushing these exchanges overseas. But I think that's inevitable. I think exchanges you can't regulate this industry the way that you would have regulated the legacy financial system, where there was only a handful of companies and custodians that government could capture. But if you have millions upon millions upon millions of individuals taking self-custody of their own Bitcoin, like how do you regulate the if it's peer-to-peer, like how do you regulate that? Is it regulating the exchanges themselves to making sure that these exchanges are, they aren't rehypothecating the Bitcoin, they aren't using Bitcoin that you entrust with them to go and speculate on the market? Perhaps I think that's maybe what he's advocating for. Perhaps I guess that would be a good thing to have those types of regulations. But look, this is all irrelevant, and this channel doesn't focus on this. This channel focuses on the peaceful Bitcoin revolution. The peaceful Bitcoin revolution is individuals taking self-custody of their Bitcoin. So yeah, more noise, absolutely wrecked. Shame on SBF, man, and hopefully this is a giant wake-up call to individuals. Stop trusting other people with your money. It's as plain and simple as that. Opti, what are your thoughts on this, bro?
Well, the first part of that video, Saylor definitely breaks down the FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried scam very clearly. And of course, SBF or FTX is not the only one doing this. So, rewatch that video and then extrapolate out to all the other scam coins and scam companies out there that are rehypothecating their Bitcoin. But to your point at the end, Saylor seemingly calling for more regulation. I think it's a tricky path to go down, because as we say, you can't regulate Bitcoin, but you can regulate the on and off ramps of Bitcoin. And a lot of times the regulation is just more regulatory moat for the players to get away with these kind of criminal activities. And let's not forget, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that FTX was regulated. So it did have these, these quote unquote stamps of approval, and yet they were still able to get away with this extremely huge criminal Ponzi or whatever you'd want to call it, fraud that they were playing along with. So again, as an American, yes, the powers that be should protect retail investors or what have you, but that's the whole thing about Bitcoin. It's a global phenomenon, and it's like people can just spin this stuff up around the world. So it's upon you, the individual, to not partake in these kind of ridiculous exchanges, shitcoin casinos, or scam coins, because you're still going to get wrecked. Like, the only thing that's going to protect you from this stuff is getting Bitcoin, however you are comfortable getting Bitcoin, and putting that Bitcoin into self-custody in a wallet that you own the private keys to, because that's the only protection you have from this stuff. So do not trust another middleman to protect your Bitcoin. It's upon you as the individual to take that Bitcoin into self-custody and do it yourself, guys. Stop outsourcing your trust to more institutions, because they abuse it any way they can. And we will continue to have these newer companies rehypothecate your Bitcoin and continue to do this stuff as bear markets come around, because people aren't waking up to the truth that it's just take your Bitcoin into self-custody. It's very easy.
Yeah, exactly. And look, actually we had a really good comment from Higher Calling. It says, not good. The criminals will control the on and off ramps. And I think when you mean criminals, you're talking about government. And look, that's kind of the reality, right? The reality is if you ask for more regulation, you're asking for more bureaucracy. And who's to say that once they have that regulation in place, then they don't start imposing capital controls, right? I know in Canada, for example, if you're trying to buy Bitcoin off certain exchanges, there's only a certain amount they allow you to withdraw at a time. So how long until that comes into the US? So it all goes full circle to this very simple idea. This Bitcoin revolution is not possible without individuals taking personal responsibility over their wealth, right? And if you don't do that, if you want big daddy government to come in and save the day, look, the reality is you're trusting that they're not going to use those regulations to protect themselves. Because remember, guys, at the end of the day, if we're right about this, governments have a lot to lose, because they get a tremendous amount of power from having that monopoly, and with that monopoly comes the power and privilege to create money for free that everyone else has to work for. And of course they don't want to let go of that power, right? It funds themselves, it funds the bureaucracy, it funds the administrative state, it funds their ability to go on endless wars, right? It funds their ability to impose social programs perhaps we can't even afford, but you don't agree. But the reason that they're able to get away with it is because of the money printer. And at the end of the day, Bitcoin is a fundamental threat to that, right? So it's like, even if Michael Saylor gets his wish, there are definitely downsides to that. And at the end of the day, someone said that, I'm scrolling up to the comment, can't find it, but basically, oh, here it is, by Hammersaw. Saylor is a statist. I've never been bullish on statism coming to Bitcoin. And look, I don't know if I would go that far. I did see Saylor's speech. It was a very famous speech. It was the Atlas or something like that, right? It was the Ayn Rand award he was given. And man, he sounded very, sounded like he wanted to win the war, and he thinks that this war is inevitable, right? Yeah, man, it's very interesting. Opti, you want to chime in before we get to the news?
On him being a statist, I mean, he's a billionaire, and he has to work within those those big concerns, as like they could come and take his money. So obviously he's very picky with his words, and he's got to play the game. But I mean, like, I watched the same presentation, and it does seem like he gets as the Bitcoiner, but also it's like people are saying in the chat, like, it is very there is a concern, like you're lying to yourself and you're being naive if you don't have that like paranoid view in the back of your head of Saylor turning into a villain over time. But as of now, he seems to be saying and doing the right things, and I think he's playing 5D chess, but only time will tell. So hey, I don't know. I can't really comment on what he's doing personally.
Look, if you guys think Saylor's a status, thanks Diogenes. The actual is, look up, guys, if you have the free time, look up the speech that Michael Saylor gave. He won an award at the Atlas Society. And then let me know if you think he's a status. So yeah,
exactly.
I do agree with you, Opti. Maybe he is playing 5D chess, and maybe he knows there's a lot of eyes looking at him. Look, at the end, DC sued this guy. You know, he not only did they sue Michael Saylor for, you know, potential tax fraud or whatever that is, but they also sued MicroStrategy, and I believe that was really a statement. That was the state fighting back. But anyways, let's get to the news. Let's do this.
The Daily News.
Brought to you by Bitbox 2 Bitcoin Only Edition, a hardware wallet by Shift Crypto. Crypto like cryptography. It's secure, it's open source, and it's so easy your mom can set it up. Self-custody is the revolution, and the Bitbox makes it simple. Do not leave your Bitcoin on an exchange. Order a Bitbox today.
All right, guys, let's do this. Let's do this. So this is why you guys all tuned in, because you saw the title of the video. And it wasn't clickbait. MicroStrategy could raise up to $500 million to buy Bitcoin. Let's get into some of the detail. MicroStrategy could sell up to $500 million in Class A common stock and could buy more Bitcoin. A new prospectus filed with the Securities and Exchange Commission says the firm has entered into agreement with agents Cohen and Company, BTIG, to sell up to $500 million in stock with a possible eye towards acquiring more Bitcoin. I would, if I was in Saylor's position, I would do the same thing. Bitcoin's sitting at $17,000. Oh man, take this opportunity to stack those cheap sats. We intend to use the net proceeds from this offering for general corporate purposes, including the acquisition of Bitcoin. Unless otherwise indicated in the applicable prospectus supplement, the filing said, we have not determined the amount of net proceeds to be used specifically for any particular purpose. MicroStrategy began swaths of Bitcoin to its balance sheet under former CEO and Bitcoin bull Michael Saylor. The billionaire stepped down from the company last month, but continues to chair the investment committee. Incoming CEO Phong Le said the firm still plans to hold Bitcoin for the long term. The comments came as MicroStrategy revealed impairment charges of more than $900 million due to the wider crypto market fallout and plunging price of Bitcoin. Quote, We have not set any specific target for the amount of Bitcoin we seek to hold, and we will continue to monitor market conditions and determining whether to engage in additional financing to purchase additional Bitcoin, said the business strategy portion of the filing. And now here's the part where it gets interesting. Adam Back chimed in, and Adam Back took the time to write this thread about MicroStrategy potentially selling $500 million worth of stock to buy more Bitcoin. This is what he says. Thoughts for why it makes solid sense for Saylor's MicroStrategy to sell $500 million of new stock to $500 million of Bitcoin for shareholders and debt ratio, lowering risk plus positive Bitcoin news. Additional share sale plan for regulatory filing put in motion 2 months ago. People had bad intuitions about this, so I ran the numbers. 11.3 million MicroStrategy shares, 1.75 MicroStrategy market cap, 2 billion treasury holdings, 130k Bitcoin, 2.4 billion of long dated low interest debt majority, generally insulated from Bitcoin price movements so long as MicroStrategy pays interest. MicroStrategy's strategy business is worth IMO about 1 billion and has low growth, but generally low long-term enterprise client lists and ample free cash flow to cover the low fixed rate interest payments of 2.4 billion. The BTC/MicroStrategy now is 0.0115. If they sell 500 million, that's 25% dilution, and the market cap becomes 2.5 billion, and they end up with about 160k Bitcoin if bought today. The new Bitcoin/MicroStrategy ratio is about 0.0113. Bitcoin so not really diluted barely for Bitcoin/MicroStrategy. And the debt ratio, market cap 2 billion versus 2.4 billion on lows, falls from 120 to 96%. at 17K price, of course, lower at higher Bitcoin prices. So from my understanding of this, right, is very technical. It puts MicroStrategy in a better position to pay off those loans, from my understanding, right? So it actually makes a whole lot of sense. It doesn't sound too degenerate to me, from what Adam Back was saying. This could just be a better strategic move from my understanding, because at the end of the day, I think what has Michael Saylor potentially in the hot seat is that he did borrow money to buy Bitcoin. This wouldn't be borrowing money. This would be selling MicroStrategy stock to buy Bitcoin instead. So very interesting. Is this another 5D chess move from Saylor? I don't know, man. But Adam Back, who some people think is Satoshi, definitely thinks it's a good idea. I don't see why not. Anyways, Opti, what are your thoughts on this, bro?
Well, this is above my pay grade, but my first question is, Nico, when are we doing this with Simply Bitcoin? I'm trying to stack some more Bitcoin as well. No, that's jokes, guys. Obviously, I'm joking. Just to the point, well, Giga Chad is definitely a Bitcoiner through and through, because he's continues to double down and he's continuing to scoop up the dip. I don't know how many times he's bought the dip. He probably bought the dip every single time it's dipped. So kudos to you. And then I've said it before on the show, guys, don't let Saylor outstack you guys. I hope you guys are buying the dip. Obviously he's a billionaire. That's just like a little joke. But like, if you aren't trying to get more Bitcoin right now, you're really a Bitcoiner. And to your point, Nico, again, Saylor's playing 5D chess, and I think a lot of moves the average pleb can't even understand, because we aren't playing at that high level of business and corporate strategy. So hey, again, if people a lot smarter than me are saying this is a good move, I'm sure this is going to ensure that Saylor and MicroStrategy are able to ride the volatility waves that are Bitcoin. And again, I think, Nico, you said it in the past before, that in due time, we're all kind of seeing that the bull run will be around 2024. Bukele and Saylor and all these other Giga Chads out there will be looked upon like geniuses once they hodled through all the volatility. So again, I think only time will tell whether this is a good move. But as a Bitcoiner, we're all thinking the same thing. It's like,
we're all
yes,
thinking the same thing.
I want more Bitcoin too,
dude. If he has the $500 million, right, to buy more Bitcoin, look, in 2 or 3 or 4 years from now, it's going to look like a genius move. So Adam Back broke down the numbers for you guys. Interesting. All right. So I told you guys in the very beginning of the show, there is a silver lining to the FTX destruction, to the FTX implosion. This is some news by No BS Bitcoin. Definitely recommend this Telegram chat. As FTX contagion spreads, more custodians expected to be at risk. Withdraw Bitcoin to self-custody ASAP. One of those custodians happened to be Lend. So first of all, our business continues to operate as usual. Deposits and withdrawals are being processed normally. Keeping our commitment to transparency and integrity, we wanted to share that we have a lending relationship with Alameda and have been in frequent contact with their senior management team. That's right. Lend had some exposure to Alameda. Alameda is the company that SBF was using for his investments, right? So he was taking money, he was taking people's money from FTX, and he was funneling it to Alameda, and he was using Alameda to speculate on the market, and that led to the blow up. And unfortunately, Lend looks like they had some exposure to them. Are they going to be okay? I don't know, but how do you protect yourself from this? Take Bitcoin into self-custody. It wasn't only that. It was Travis Kling, and he is the CEO of, I'm going to butcher this, of Akagi, and they got wrecked as well. Here's one of his tweet threads that says, "Fortunately, I have some pretty bad news to share. Last week, Akagi was caught up in the FTX collapse. We had a large majority of the hedge fund's total assets on FTX. By the time we went to withdraw Monday morning, we got very little out. We're now stuck alongside everyone else. Also, BlockFi was also one of the victims as well. So it looks like there was a huge contagion. But I remember Travis Klink coming in and he was doing a video about, how he thought that the Bitcoin only strategy was good. And then he started dabbling in shit coins. And look, another one absolutely wrecked. Jacob always says, don't shitcoin, it's bad for you. And these are one of the reasons why it's bad for you. Now, I told you guys there was a silver lining. This is the silver lining. Exchange outflows hit historic highs as Bitcoin investors take self-custody. You hear that? Here's a quote from... doesn't say who it's from, but it says, the failure of FTX has created a very distinct change in Bitcoin holder behavior across all cohorts. Since November 6, when the FTX fiasco began, balance changes have increased across all Bitcoin wallet sizes, with shrimps that have less than one coin increasing by 33,700 Bitcoin. Whale wallets with more than 1,000 coins have seen an increase of 3,600 Bitcoin, indicating that the self-custodian push is happening all across the board. Industry leaders are now starting to advocate. Starting? Bitcoiners have been telling you for 5 years now. Industry leaders, I guess this includes shitcoiners, I don't know. Industry leaders are now starting to advocate self-custody solutions as the phrase, not your keys, not your coins, bears weight more than ever before. Opti, you hear that? That is vindication, baby. That is vindication. Industry leaders, my ball sack. Bitcoiners have been telling you this for a minute now. Not your keys, not your Bitcoin. Unfortunately, it had to be, with a lot of people getting wrecked, a lot of people losing their money, a lot of companies that had exposure to FTX getting wrecked for this lesson to be learned. But I don't know, man. Bitcoiners have been saying this for quite a while now, and I don't want to celebrate because, a lot of people got wrecked, but we did tell you. That's what I got to say about that. Anyways, Opti, what are your thoughts, bro?
Well, first off, it is very concerning how much FTX was integrated in all these companies, and we continue to see the collateral damage from this. And I don't think we are completely out of the woods from who's going to get wrecked and what's going to actually happen at the very end of this FTX saga. So, there's a lot still on the table in regards to what the final results and the final collateral damage of all this will be. But the silver lining, of course, is, as you said yesterday, and it sounded kind of harsh, it's like a lot of Bitcoiners were made in the last week, and we don't like to kick a dead horse when it's down. But as I learned myself in the 2017 bear market, the only way most humans learn is by putting their hand on the stove themselves. Not everyone is wise and can learn from the Bitcoiners that got wrecked in the past and that have repeated these mistakes over and over. So again, man, like, we try to warn people from this. This is all we do on this show. We're a broken record. We tell you guys, not your keys, not your Bitcoin, but yet people don't listen to us because we're closed-minded Bitcoin maxis. We're toxic. We just go out there and meme people to death. But guys, not your keys, not your Bitcoin. Self-custody your Bitcoin. If you are not holding your private keys, which I hope you know what your private keys are, it's those 12 to 24 words in your possession. It is not your Bitcoin. Again, take your Bitcoin off exchanges. They are not wallets. We shill wallets all the time on this show now because we realize that we have to walk people down the path. And so, if you're on a desktop, I really enjoy Sparrow. One of our good friends, Shishi, is a Bitcoin Core Maxi. Everyone on Twitter loves Cold Card as a hardware wallet. Seed Signer's become a crowd favorite. We are sponsored by Bitbox. It's open source hardware wallet that's so easy. Chrissy Lagarde could use it. And if you just want to get a wallet on your phone, man, there's Blue Wallet, there's Green Wallet, Wallet of Satoshi, there's Breeze Wallet, there's Pine Wallet, there's Phoenix Wallet. There's a lot of wallets out there, guys, and there's more wallets out there than the ones we recommend. But these are the ones that I'm comfortable recommending to you guys, and you need to understand this basic heuristic. If it's not your keys, it's not your Bitcoin. you need to take your Bitcoin into self-custody. We say it all the time. Self-custody is the revolution. And if you just do self-custody, you can avoid essentially 99% of all these problems out there. And you can stay humble, stack sats, enjoy your life, provide value to your fellow man. And life will be good. And you can watch the fireworks like us Bitcoiners.
Breaking news. Breaking news. Disclose.tv Twitter account. New York Federal Reserve and multiple global banking giants start a 12-week digital dollar pilot. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The separation of money and state is just warming up. You saw it from the Biden. Who could have saw that? Well, if you were tuned into Simply Bitcoin, you would have saw this 9 months ago, bro. But yes, there's a separation of money and state is just warming up. Central bank digital currencies is the state's last attempt to keep you enslaved. So arm yourself with knowledge. Take Bitcoin into self-custody. That is how we will defeat this monolith, man. But it's just, look, you saw it from the Biden administration themselves, right? In their Future of Money Treasury report, you saw it. Future of money. They called it Future of Money. Bitcoin was not mentioned one time. What they did mention over and over again was central bank digital currencies, because that is what that's what will allow them to control you. But anyways, just to recap today's news, Michael Saylor potentially selling $500 million worth of stock to buy more Bitcoin. Adam Back thinks it's a good idea. This FTX explosion is leading more people to take self-custody of their Bitcoin. And breaking news, just breaking right now, it's happening. They're going to start rolling out those central bank digital currencies, and 12 banks, those are probably the 12 largest banks in the United States that are going along with it. Holy cow, ladies and gentlemen, we are definitely in the then they fight you stage. Hold on to your bags, because things are definitely going to get a little bit hairy. But anyways, let's get to the culture. Let's do this.
The Daily Culture.
Brought to you by SwanBitcoin.com. Swan is the best way to build your Bitcoin stack with automated Bitcoin savings plans and instant purchases, serving clients of any size from $10 to $10 million. We love Swan because they incentivize self-custody and dollar cost averaging. What are you waiting for? Visit SwanBitcoin.com today.
All right, guys. All right. I told you guys yesterday that we are going to go over the basics. I know. You like to get into the nuance, you like to get into the weeds, but we have shitcoiners out there on Twitter giving absolutely the worst advice ever. So this is kind of a little throwback to a little bit of the daily fail, but this is the culture after all. So we're going to dunk on some shitcoiners. And again, it's not the dunk on the person that's actually tweeting, though I am actually doing that. It's more to make a point. So as you guys can see, Odell's been tweeting this every single morning. And it's good morning, stay humble, and stack sats. And if you remember what we told you yesterday, the Bitcoin memes are heuristics, and we repeat them so much and so often that people just think they're memes. But there's a lot of truth. There's a lot of facts in them. And so today we are going to have a stay humble, stack sats moment today, because I saw this tweet yesterday. And shout out to Bitcoin is Saving, one of the best Twitter accounts out there. And he quoted a shitcoiner, a notorious shitcoiner. He's a trader. He got himself caught up in the FTX, and he's going around on Twitter. Basically, I'm not going to read this tweet because it's bad advice, and we don't recommend anything he says. But just to quote tweet him, he goes, "How will I make it back? I'm broke." And this is a lot of the thinking out there by shitcoiners that got caught up in these exchanges. You know, everyone wants to just win the lottery out there in shitcoin land and just get, a new crypto, the new Bitcoin, and all this garbage. But we tell you guys all the time, stay humble, stack sats, and how I say it, provide the value to your fellow man and save in Bitcoin, and then figure out how you can mine more fiat. This is the way. But to break it down very simply, here is Bitcoin Savings' view on this very same idea. 1, get a job. 2, work. 3, stay humble and stack sats. And 4, cold storage Bitcoin and verify with your node. It's really this easy. You don't need to shill all this garbage. You don't need NFTs. You don't need all this ICOs and, DEX coins and all this absolute garbage out there. It's a very simple thing. What Bitcoin is the best savings technology in the world. 21 million hard cap. They can't debase your money anymore. And this is the feature that Bitcoin allows for us. So what do you need to do as a person out there? You need to provide more value to society so that you can get more fiat, so that you can save in Bitcoin more. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but all these shitcoin projects out there are not adding any value to society. They are legitimately taking value from society. And there's a lot of people that are getting rich overnight that haven't added nothing to society, and they think that they're doing something prosperous, and they're on Twitter telling you.
Hold on a second. I wanna. You buried the lead there, bro. You hit the nail on the head. You hit the nail on the head, bro. When you said not that many people are adding value to society, bro. And that was a very powerful statement. You have to really unpack what that means, right? And I said this during the thriving during the monetary reset panel at Pacific Bitcoin. Ever since 2008, governments and central banks have created a zombie economy. People that did real work have been left behind. If you're under the age of 35, most likely you're significantly poorer than your parents were at the same time. The rich have gotten richer and the poor have gotten poorer. And it's not because of capitalism. It's the Cantillon effect. Every time they print money, it's a wealth redistribution mechanism from the lower and the middle classes that don't have the assets to save in, they don't have the means to save in assets, therefore benefit from asset inflation. Only the wealthy have that privilege. And that's where we are today. Real work has not been rewarded. It's only the hedge fund managers, it's only the real estate developers that have gotten wealthier, and everybody else has been left behind. This is what the Bitcoin peaceful revolution is all about. It's about taking back your work, your energy, and your work is actually valued. And that will give you the ability to save for a future. Therefore, all of a sudden, your mindset changes fundamentally, because now you have hope for a better future. And in the fiat world that we live today, it incentivizes you to spend in a very deep level, because even on a subconscious level, that money is stealing from you. So you have no option but to spend, and not save. So that's what it's all about when Opti says. That's what it's all about. Anyways.
Beautiful context, guys. Yes, it's exactly what we're talking about. Provide value to your fellow man. Do something of service to society. Everything is a service. And trading shitcoins on Twitter to get rich, for one, won't build you the skills that you need to retain your value, because you'll just ultimately get wrecked. But you're not doing anything of value, as Nico just so eloquently explained. And of course, he quote tweets Bitcoin is saving, and what's he say? Stay poor, Bitcoin maxis. Amazing. And then furthermore, I searched his Twitter, and I'm surprised he didn't scrub some of this stuff, but he's out here calling for FTX bailouts. He even admits to the silver lining of the FTX bringing down all of crypto and hindering adoption for another cycle is that once again, everyone is proven to be untrustworthy vapor, and no one will want to invest in our scams. His word, not mine. Invest in our scams. They already know what we know. Shitcoins are a scam, and they are just playing on the greater fool theory, which is the unsuspecting noob and dumping their bags on unsuspecting retail, which again is to our point of there is no value in the shitcoin land. Save in Bitcoin, stay humble, stack sats, and shouts out to Dick Whitman, because this is just driving the nail on the head. Nearly every shitcoin podcast and influencer promoted this SBF FTX scammer while mocking and criticizing Bitcoin maxis, and they're all going to pretend like they didn't have anything to do with it. as we so eloquently tell you all the time, shouts out to our friend Chris Alamo, and he goes, or Alamo, sorry, bro. Opti can't speak as well. Bitstein warned us of this years ago, and no one listens. And I think I'm going to have to reread Everyone's a Scammer, but go read his article, Everyone's a Scammer. Make sure you put on the music, because you will learn why everyone wants your Bitcoin and why they will continue to use marketing to get you guys to trade absolute garbage on the blockchain. But I really like this tweet right here from Preston. I saw this before I started the show, and I think it's a good way to end this segment. And he goes, there is signal within the noise if you actually understand what this movement is all about. Here's a professional scammer, SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, and you wonder why he doesn't like Bitcoin. And here's a quote from Financial Times. Bitcoin in the future is a payments network, says FTX chief. It's because Bitcoin is the one thing that FTX and all these other scammers cannot control and manipulate. Bitcoin is not crypto. There is Bitcoin and there is shitcoin. Again, guys, stay humble, stack sats, provide value to your fellow man, provide services for Bitcoin, figure out a way where you can get more fiat legitimately, you know, with ethics, with principles.
Dude, just work.
Just work.
Just work.
Very simple.
Like, it's not rocket science, just work, bro.
We say this all the time, guys. It sounds so simple that people want to overcomplicate this. This is something that human psychology is very good at doing. It sounds too good to be true. Just work, provide value, save in Bitcoin, and your money won't get debased because it is Bitcoin. This is a feature, not a bug. Don't get caught up in the greed. Don't get caught up in the shitcoin marketing. Bitcoin is the only truly decentralized cryptocurrency in the space. And I know we're getting back to the basics, guys, but it's becoming very obvious to me, at least, that we need to reiterate the basic continuously, because people still don't get what is going on out there, and they still get wrecked. So please, 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 please stay humble, stack sats, take Bitcoin into cold storage, into self-custody, write down your private keys, and you can avoid all this garbage. Don't get caught up in the greed. As I've said in the past, Satoshi Nakamoto figured out a way to domesticate human greed, and yet these scammers continue to dupe retail investors,
but it's not
and
okay.
dump shitcoins on them.
Okay, Satoshi domesticated. No, bro. The incentives are aligned. That's the beauty of it. It's the incentives are aligned. Look, right? You look at the miners, right? You think miners are mining Bitcoin out of the goodness of their heart? Do you think that miners left China and plugged those ASICs anywhere else? No, they're following their own incentives. They're following their own greed. Do you think node operators are just running nodes willy-nilly? No. They're protecting their wealth. They don't want to trust someone else's node. They want to run their own node. Do you think Bitcoin hodlers are just like, oh yeah, we're pushing this as whatever? No. They're just protecting they're just protecting their stack. They're protecting their hodling. But this is what I mean by incentives are aligned. Bitcoin miners' incentive benefits everyone. Bitcoin node operators benefit everyone. Bitcoin hodlers benefit everyone. Everybody wins. And if you compare this with fiat, if you compare this with shitcoin, only an elite few win while everybody loses. That's the beauty of Bitcoin. The incentives are aligned. In fiat, the incentives are not aligned. Only a few benefit while everybody loses. And that's the beauty of Bitcoin. And if you look at how the current fiat system works today, as long as there's a few bureaucratic elite that have the privilege and the power to create money for free that everybody else has to work for, the incentives will never be aligned. But could you imagine a world where the incentives for money align and everybody wins? Then all of a sudden, doesn't make sense ripping people off. Doesn't make sense doing this and this and that. It makes the world better. And think about it. That's what Bitcoin does. It brings the best out of everybody. And fiat, because it's constantly stealing from everybody, even if it's ever so slowly. It brings out the worst in people because at the end of the day, people are just trying to survive. People are just trying to put food on the table. And every day they just have to work harder and harder and harder and harder and harder while their money just disintegrates, their savings. A world of Bitcoin, that's the exact opposite. And this is exactly why the monetary demons are going after it so freaking hard, because they want to be able to maintain that privilege. They want to be able to maintain that power. Bitcoiners fundamentally believe that no matter who you are, the emperor, the king, the president, you have to earn or you have to work to get more Bitcoin. The world that they want to live in is a world where, listen, I am special. I'm an elite. I'm entitled to create money for free, benefit from that free money, while all the schmucks have to work for it. Fuck that. It's over. It's done. The cat is out of the bag. Woo! My voice broke. Opti.
You mic dropped on that one, bro. I don't have any more to say. It's just teeing up this idea, guys. Stay humble, stack sats, guys. I know we're a broken record. I know you hear this all the time, but it's a very simple and powerful idea of just providing value and saving in Bitcoin. You don't have to overcomplicate this. I think we've said it on the show all the time. The fiat system has incentivized everyone to become traders just so that they can survive in this system. You don't have to do that with Bitcoin, and just sit back, relax, find Bitcoin Zen, and save in Bitcoin. It's really this simple. Take Bitcoin in the cold storage. It's really this simple, guys. We're only saying this because we've done it for ourselves, and it's a truth that has saved us from all the atrocities out here.
Mm-hmm. Amen to that. All right, let's get to the meme review. Let's do it.
The Daily Meme Review.
Brought to you by Kaboom.Racks. I get this question all the time. Nico, where should I buy Bitcoin miners? The answer is Kaboom.Racks. It's the best place to buy Bitcoin miners. That's where you're going to find the best deals and the best prices. Start your mining utopia today. To check out their racks, you got to go to t.me/Kaboom.Racks. Join their Telegram group and start your mining journey today. Kaboom.Racks.
Let's go. Everyone's trolling me in the chat. Love you guys. This is the meme review. You already know tweets are the bullets and memes are the artillery in this information war that we are a part of. You guys are the frontline soldiers. Continue to get the calls of action. Continue to spread the truth. Continue to reiterate on your messaging so that people can learn these basic truths about Bitcoin. And you already know, drop your meme review score after we do in the chat so we can cover it. Anyways, this first meme is by our friends over at Coinbits.
Oh, wait. Breaking news.
Don't do it. Don't do it to me.
BlockFi prepares for possible bankruptcy.
No way. Right now. Are you? Oh, my goodness. Didn't they just they were just saying they were fine. Oh, my God.
Oh, man.
Yo.
Bro. Oh, man. Dude, this is the FTX, man. This whole thing, it's just flushing out all this bullshit. Remember those videos by Pomp? Remember those videos by some other predominant Bitcoin content creators? Oh, ouch.
Yo, remember. Stay humble, stack sats, guys.
All right.
Whew. Wow, what a breaking news day. Amazing, I know, right? Amazing. As we were saying in the news segment, we have yet to see how far down the line this contagion will affect this shitcoin market. So anyways, let's get to the memes, guys. This first one's by our friends Coinbits, and he goes, "Good morning to everyone except mainstream journalists." And we got a Patrick meme over here, and he goes, "Journalists researching FTX," and they got a microscope. They're looking very professional. They got their lab coat on. And then it's journalists learning how Bitcoin works. And it's that Patrick meme where he nailed a board to his head, and he looks just like the journalists look out there talking about Bitcoin, like big idiots. Anyways, this next one, as we're literally covering live on the show, this guy Ben Sixsmith, I don't even think he's a Bitcoiner. He's got the screenshot from Reddit, and it goes crypto in 2021, and it's Sam Bankman-Fried looking, semi-normal. And then we got crypto in 2022, and it looks atrocious. I don't know exactly who this is, but I'm sure this is someone I should know who it is. Anyways, this next one is by our friend Adam O, aka at Denver Bitcoin. This isn't his meme, but he said, saw this on LinkedIn and worth sharing. And I brought this one on because, again, we're reiterating the obvious for the people out there. The perception of Bitcoin and crypto land is that Bitcoin is a small portion of crypto. The cryptocurrency, Bitcoin is the leading of the cryptocurrency market. But in reality, there is Bitcoin and there is shitcoin, and they are not the same. And if you are following along closely back at home, you're becoming very, very aware that there's a difference between Bitcoin and all these other shitcoin casinos and these shitcoin tokens, and you are better off just saving in Bitcoin. Anyways, shouts out to my boy Rope. Apparently he got banned. I could only wonder what you said. Anyways, he's got a Simpsons meme. And we got crypto.com, and I forget, what's this guy's name, Nico? I have the worst memory everywhere. And he goes, he's diving in front of a bull and goes, screenshots of another exchange's assets and insolvency. It looks like not only crypto.com and BlockFi are participating in what Rope said. It's more like proof of reserves, not proof of reserves, because I don't know if you guys heard all the rumors out there. It seems like all these shitcoin casinos are just taking screenshots of their quote unquote reserves and passing them along like they are actually holding all that Bitcoin. But we shall see who blows up and who doesn't. Only time will tell. This next one is RDBTC. Shouts out to you, bro. And he goes, you're welcome. Hashtag Bitcoin. Hashtag thank a maxi. And it's the meme of the kid in class, and he's passing a note to the kid in front of him, and it's a Bitcoin maxi. And what's the note said? You stupid fucks bought paper Bitcoin. Guys, take your Bitcoin into self-custody. Exchanges are not wallets. Do not leave your Bitcoin on these exchanges because it allows them the ability to rehypothecate your Bitcoin. And what we're doing here is we're trying to defund these monetary demons, and you are allowing them the ability to continue down this madness. Anyways, this next one is by @PlebSignal. And I think this is a very, very good picture. What's the meme? Picture paints a thousand words or what have you. And we got crypto, and it's a bunch of matches, and they're all burnt. And then it says the power of stepping away. And this is what we mean by opting out and taking Bitcoin into self-custody, because once you do that, you do not get wrecked in all this carnage. And this is a feature of Bitcoin and no other shitcoin. Take your Bitcoin into self-custody. Guys, I'm beating this into your head because even though we're getting signs of people withdrawing their Bitcoin from exchanges, we're going to continue to call the alarm of take your Bitcoin into self-custody. If you do not have the 12 to 24 words written down in your Bitcoin wallet, it is not your Bitcoin, not your keys, not your Bitcoin. This next one, again, this is back to the idea of take your Bitcoin into self-custody. We have Elon Musk here tweeted the other day, that BTC will make it, but it might be a long winter. And shouts out the spirit of Nakadai. And he does this meme of all the Pepes withdrawing their Bitcoin from Coinbase. And he goes, yes, I want to withdraw all the Bitcoin from my account. This is what you guys should be doing. Do not leave your Bitcoin on these exchanges because they are rehypothecating. There is way more claims to paper Bitcoin than Bitcoin out there. And this is why the Bitcoin market is in carnage right now. Amazing, amazing. Anyways, my meme review score, Nico.
Wait, hold on.
And I know you don't have this one. I got this at the Pacific Bitcoin Conference. Shouts out to Mark Goodwin. He gave me a special Bitcoin $21 million bill with the honey badger on it and Nayib Bukele on the other side. Super cool little piece of art. Even got like a shiny Bitcoin right there. I thought that was cool. I felt pretty lucky when I got one. And Nico, I showed him, I'm like, hey, look what I got. And he's like, wait, where'd you get that? I want one.
I want one. Anyways, for my score, I'm gonna give it A Kaboom Rax.
Ooh.
Slab.
Wow.
Oof.
Is that the other side? You put another sticker on?
Kaboom Rax. Kaboom Rax.
Oh man, I'm getting wrecked in the chat today, guys. I am not Tim Pool. I am not bald. It's just cold over here. Okay.
Is he? I don't know. I've never seen him without a beanie. He
Oh,
might
he's
not be
bald.
bald.
He's bald. I saw there's a YouTube video of someone ripping off his beanie. He's definitely balding.
You think so? Okay.
Oh, I seen it. I'm not trusting. I have verified.
Whatever. Okay. Anyways, I like Timmy. He makes some great content.
Can't trust a dude that only wears a beanie every single day.
Jesus. Okay. Opti said that. Nico
As
did
I'm
not.
wearing a beanie.
Okay. Yeah, but you don't wear it every single day. Anyways,
Exactly.
Okay, guys, this is Simply Bitcoin Live. Drop your meme score in the live chat, and we'll get to it. First one by Brandon. I give those memes another daily TC8. Hell yeah. Next one by Nope. Not a day. I give those memes a recording of the FTX orgy. Diogenes, I give Diogenes a great. I give those memes Opti's irresponsible torque purchase. Stack sats, not hats.
To my defense, I did not buy this. This is an old one. I just found it.
Sure.
I'm back at my parents' house and it's cold.
Sure. Okay, HODLcoin. I give those memes open source wallets. Okay, very nice. All right, next one by Becca, Bitcoin Becca. I give these memes 0.5 watermelon, BCC yellow. Okay, good one, Jekka. Jasmina gives, I give these memes an Opti loft. Okay, very nice. Any Rug says, I give the memes this TI-30 calculator for everyone who got wrecked this past week. Bitcoin for Canadians. I rate those memes. Opti's cap he stole from one flew over the
This guy gets it. This guy gets it.
That is the best one. Okay, next one by Guardian Healer. I give those memes office coffee. Last one. We're out of time, but I'll make an exception. I give the memes a full Caroline. All right, guys. I appreciate that. Also,
Great
guys,
score. Great
make
score.
sure to join Simply Bitcoin's Telegram group. Go to www.t.me/the Simply Bitcoin channel. Check out Simply Bitcoin Unfiltered. That's where you get the written version of this show. Shout out to our awesome writers, Paul, Zach, Rustin, Weinekiss, dropping the sauce. But anyways, we do have an open source software release today. Let's check it out.
Bitcoin software release.
Brought to you by CypherSafe. Don't be that person that loses their Bitcoin seed due to fire damage, water damage, dog attacks. Back up your generational Bitcoin wealth on steel. And there's no better place to do it than the Cypher Grid by CypherSafe. And now check out their new Bitcoin art, the Bitcoin Rulux triangle, only on CypherSafe.io. All right, guys, today the CypherSafe, the software release that we have is the Blix wallet version 0.6.0. They added Mac support, translations, Taproot, and more. I like that. So they added Dutch, French, German, Klingon, that's funny, Portuguese, Russian, Spanish, Swedish, and Vietnamese translation. Is that a real language or is that a Star Trek? Anyways, Blix Wallet joins as one of the few
Star Trek.
Yeah, okay. Blix Wallet joins as one of the few Lightning wallets available for desktop with the brand new Mac OS port. You can now send and receive Taproot addresses. To receive a Taproot address, you have to enable it. Sending to a Taproot address will always be always possible too. Blix will also automatically use Taproot addresses for all change when sending on chain when a channel is closed. Awesome. I'm glad that they're adding Taproot support. Guys, if you want to listen to the audio version of this show, make sure to subscribe to us on Anchor, Spotify, Apple, Fountain. We will be we'll be showing the messages that we get on Fountain. We get a lot. Thank you guys. We love you all. Appreciate it. Opti's showing something off. Oh, let's check it out. Let's put it full screen.
Live meme from Rope. Hold on. Do I have to? I think I gotta flip this.
Oh man. I present with zero comment or context. Oh man. Anyways, I also want to give a shout out to our awesome clothing sponsor. They just dropped Simply Bitcoin merch. Finally, check it out. I'm wearing it. Opti's wearing it. I'm gonna show the back. Check it out. Check this out. This is dope.
Let's go.
It has a tank, even though it's a peaceful revolution. Guys, check out representltd.com. You could use the promo code simply-bitcoin to get a 10% discount, anything off the store. Anyways, guys, that was our show. That was Simply Bitcoin Live. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to hit that like button. Consider subscribing if you feel we provided you value. And the number one thing you could do to help this show, in fact, help the whole peaceful revolution in general, is share this video. Share all Bitcoin content. Get the message out. If enough people take self-custody, we win, and there's nothing they can do about it. Guys, we love you all. The show will continue all the way to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitter Spaces. So if you want to interact with Opti and other people in the audience, make sure to join us on Twitter. Anyways, guys, we love you all, and we will see you tomorrow for a brand new episode of Simply Bitcoin.
You're against freedom.
Let's go. Yo, shouts out to everyone trolling me in the chat. Amazing stuff going on in there. Had a blast. Apparently I can't wear a beanie on the show. I'm cold, guys. I'm cold over here.